Made in Hollywood.
The writer and director are creative partners who work together to create original storylines and screenplays for production in a digital web series. Tony Valenzuela began his career as a songwriter. Mr. Valenzuela worked as an art director in television before transitioning into creating, writing, and directing several successful web series, including projects for Coca-Cola and CBS. Jarrett Sleeper has been acting on stage, television, and movies for over 10 years. Mr. Sleeper co-created as well as acted in the digital series Murderbot Productions and The Fourth Door.
I'm Jarrett Sleeper.
And I'm Tony Valenzuela.
We are co-creators of The Fourth Door.
And you are watching Made in Hollywood, and here's a clip from our show.
This is a story about a boy.
You all right, buddy?
A girl. My name is Lane. And an angel.
Find Colin somehow.
I just feel something special about her.
It's a very new concept, creating an online, digital-based web series. It's a short, but it's on only Go90, and it's specifically for mobile content and the mobile app.
Which is only a new concept really to like us, to people who remember dial-up internet, who remember before dial-up internet. So it only seems novel to us, but then for us who have been doing web stuff for a while, like the idea of an emotional connection to your phone and to stories told on your phone and people who are coming to you through your phone is completely normal.
So for teens, the younger audience who want to be creators like you, would you say that they have more of an opportunity now because of programs and apps like this?
100%. I mean,
yeah.
Part of being a person is you really want people to say, hey, you're good enough, you should go do this, and pat you on the back, and say, you're ready, you're ready.
Say you're allowed.
Oh, you're allowed, yeah. And that's out the window, because the truth about being a filmmaker is you just have to make film. You have to go and do it. You have to be present for those experiences, learn those mistakes, do all those things. And you can't do that. You can't do that just from an academic side. You have to do that in real time and learn those lessons you will only learn when you're holding that, even with the iPhone, when you're holding that iPhone and you're shooting somebody for the first time, you start filming, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do that better next time. Like, that's the beginning of a journey for a filmmaker.
Day one. Day one, running just a little behind, which is normal, first day.
With action!
It was so awesome to be on YouTube and suddenly have an audience and suddenly be able to reach people. And I think that's what's so exciting is that you don't have to wait for permission. You can go and make your short films. I met James Cameron a couple of years ago and I asked him, I was like, you know, if you were starting out right now, what would you do as a director? And he looked at me and he was like, I would do exactly what you're doing. He said, just start making films, get your films out there. You have this great distribution platform now. Show your friends, convince your friends to come and work for no money. And he goes, and once you start being able to tell stories, then you can decide what kind of stories you want to tell. And The Fourth Door is the first one where I was like, this is a story that I want to tell.
And keep the hands together, keep it like that. That's your best friend right there, okay? Wonderful.
The great thing about Go90 and platforms like Go90 is they are ripe for innovation because you really have to make something unique and special in order to compete with all of the cliche-ridden television shows that they pump out every year. They kind of just change the name and slightly change the faces, but they don't really change the stories. And for The Fourth Door, for us, it was important to involve characters with new backstories. And we were watching the flashbacks yesterday, sitting in sound design, and I was like, I know this story, like this is my story. And it felt so cool to see that and not just see like, he came from another planet and he had superpowers because of the sun. But like those stories, those belong to other people. So I would tell, my biggest advice is tell your story and be true to that.
For this specific job, do you ever feel like you reach a point where you're like, I know everything now. I don't need any more training or education.
Wow.
Right? Do you ever feel that, or how do you?
You never stop learning.
No.
And the person who thinks they know everything, they're just afraid, and they're afraid to have the wrong answer. The greatest gift for a creative is that you actually have the wrong answer, and somebody shows you the right answer, and you get to grow.
I also think it's really important just to learn as much as you can about as many things as you can. Like, I always say, like, actors should not take acting classes, they should learn to box because it makes you a better actor. Or like, for me, a lot of editing rules I've learned about, like sound mixing things, I realized there's an analogy from cooking. Like, if you can taste the salt, it's too salty. Like, if you can hear the sound, it's too much. Like, as much as you can learn, as much poetry as you can read, as much music as you can listen to, books you can read, disciplines you can study, like, as much as you can consume in terms of knowledge and trade, like, it will inform everything else.
fading high.